It's the election year.
Yes.
It's fall, but normally the fall brings its own issues. But this fall brings the election issues, which is great. We want to care about our community. We want to care about our country. We want to make sure that we have the correct officials that are representing us, but it can also cause us a lot of extra stress. So I got
people be going crazy. Let's just be real. People be going crazy.
Think about it. Think about all the mail that's coming to your mailbox, all the flyers, even in your emails. And even now, since they repealed that law, they're coming texts on your phone like, please give me money. So it must be very stressful for you, right? And at least for me. So here's some tips to help us out with these election blues. Okay, number one, which is going to be really hard. You got to limit your social media. I know it's hard, but that's where they're getting us. That's how they get access to us. That's how they get us in the mailer. And it gets to be texting and really hard. Number two, you get to be overwhelmed. So include yourself in your community. Sometimes you feel that you can't handle the larger issues or that you feel that it's out of your control. Join a group, join your community, do an activity that says, hey, this is gonna direct me to my personal goals and also my community, and it puts you outside of yourself and you feel like you're actually doing something. So you get a little bit more control back in your life and you're not thinking about what you can't do, but what you can do.
That's actually a great tip, because what happens is the best way to actually get out of a bummer mood or whatever is to go out and help somebody else, because it gets your mind off of yourself.
Yes.
So we may not be able to change the entire world right now, but we can change our neighbor. We can make somebody smile at the supermarket, or we can go rescue an animal, whatever it is to make our little heart smile. Just turn off the TV, put down the social media, and think about something else besides the election. After you voted, which I voted today. After you voted. I almost like, should I wear my sticker today? I was like, no.
I love that.
I wore my sticker last week.
Oh, good. Now, what about relaxing? You were telling me about some of the wonderful apps before, and this is a great way to say, hey, what can I do to relax and get my mind off the election and de-stress?
Yeah, for real. Because I don't have election anxiety. It's like election cardio with how much my heart races at
that's
this
a new
point.
one. Election
Because
cardio.
For me, it feels like I do my part in turning off the TV and not doing like the doom scrolling on there. But because I am on social media, the news finds me.
Yes, it will.
And so for me, setting time limits on social media has been imperative, but also just relaxing and finding ways that you can feel involved. So I love that you mentioned ways that helping your community, because sometimes when it comes to election years and voting, it feels like, why do I vote? Like, what's the point, sort of thing, when it doesn't go your way necessarily. But when you can get involved in ways that you're like, I am making a difference and I am putting my efforts in where it is useful, I find that to be very helpful as well.
I do too. I think it's important for us to remember that we can't control everything outside of us, but you can control your own world. So,
And sorry, I actually have a bone to pick with some people.
let's go. Pick it, girl. Pick it. Let's go.
This is driving me bananas. So please don't send me any hate email. I'm just saying, it's just my opinion. Okay, so when it comes to election stuff, I know a lot of people in certain different circles who they will watch the news all day. They'll be on social media all day. They'll talk to their friends about it all day and they'll get all like bent out of shape, but they're actually not doing anything about it.
Right.
So it's like, if you're gonna go vote, then go vote. If you really get hot and bothered about it, then go find a way to support whoever you're voting for, whether it be the mayor, like the, the props, whatever that is. Don't just sit there and complain all day and like about how dumb this candidate is or this candidate did that, and get your feathers in a ruffle? Thank you. With a ruffle, like go out there and like do something. If you are at that point, don't just sit there and complain about it.
I agree.
I agree. That's what we talked about, that joining your community. Some
Yeah.
people think that I want my community to change. I want to live in this kind of society. I want to live in this kind of economy. Well, that starts with you. If you want a community that says, hey, I'm going to be mindful of my neighbors, then you have to be mindful of your neighbors. Maybe you should go and have a community garden with them. Get to know your neighbors. Who are your neighbors? Find out who they are. Maybe their needs or rights are different from yours. And maybe they fit in your community, something that's lacking. That's how you find out what's lacking in your community. You figure out what your community is existing on and what they need and what they don't have. And then maybe because of that, you feel that need and you find that politician or that representative, or maybe you become that person that says, I'm going to run. Yeah, action and change starts with you. So it's not always outside yourself, it's with you. So yes, do it.
Preach,
So
Cami,
vote,
preach,
get active,
sister.
yes. But most importantly, vote. That is
Yes.
the biggest thing and the most important thing that you can do on election day is get your votes in. Most of us have voted already with our mail-in ballots, so get those votes in.
And if you're still stressed out, do what I did a couple years ago. I colored with my children. I got a glass of wine, they had their juice, and I just colored in the lines.
I actually color with my son
Practice
a
on your
lot,
ballot.
and it is very, you get into it and you kind of like block out everything else. So it is really nice. And also, not to get on a weird angle, but a lot of health insurance and companies right now, they actually offer you free meditation apps. So whether it's Calm, Headspace, or whatever it is, check out if you are part of a company or maybe your insurance will cover that certain app, because then you can just pop on and listen to some meditation and like really great stories to kind of get you a little bit more motivated.
Or go outside, sit by a tree, and hug it. It's free. It's grounding.
Yes,
you get some free oxygen. You get to breathe. You get to see the nature that you're like trying to save when you're voting in your ballot, and you get to be part of your community and your neighborhood. So
I love that.
yeah, that's always kind of fun.
I love
to
it.
do. I love that. And also, the other thing is, I keep a little trash can by the front door. And the first thing I do when the little mailers come through, I just throw them right in the trash can. I don't even have to look at them. I don't have to look at them. And you know how they just collect? They don't. They just collect right there in the trash can by the door, and you take it out for trash day. So maybe think about a basket or a trash container for your flyers.
So after I did vote and I did my mail-in ballot, I literally threw away a stack of stuff that was this big, and it felt so good. So now I know when it comes through tomorrow, I'll just be like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Yep.
So
those can be very stressful because they're all color coded, they're shiny, and they've gone to a lot of expense to make these. And so you feel sometimes when you get 20 of them, you feel like, oh, I'm missing the information. I'm not getting all the information, or I missed something, or there's something else that I don't know about. I've never heard that name. And you get even more flustered because you've got 10 of these and then 10 of who are these people? And then you're like, how do I balance this out?
Yeah. And it's tricky too, because I feel that way with my emails too. My whole email is just cluttered with a lot of the same thing. But at some point you just have to realize, I don't need to feel responsible for holding on to these things.
No.
But as long as you're educated and you know who you're voting for.
This is actually making me think of a TikTok video that's going viral right now that I'm surprised Stacey's not going to mention.
Ooh.
It is this fabulous woman who she picks up the phone, and again, I have a little bit of acting skills, but she does it way better. Hopefully we can find it. Okay, she goes, hello? Oh, Kamala, you're blowing my mind. Please stop texting me. I'm already voting for you. Stop it. Stop texting me. Stop emailing me. Stop sending me. I mean, she just like went off, and it probably was about for 2 minutes. And it is rare that I pop onto TikTok and watch a lot, but I watched this chick's whole entire video, and I actually cried because it was so hilarious.
Funny,
Yeah, she's like, I'm already voting for you, okay? You are just taking me in the other direction right now.
Yep. It's relevant because a lot of us feel the same way. We're like, why are you on my phone asking for $1 or $25 when I've already voted? You don't need to pay or ask for money for my vote. You're being paid a salary. I don't understand what this money is coming, what it's used for, and why you need to have this money when I've already decided who I'm voting for. I don't get that. So you feel kind of inundated with politicians, what are they doing now? But they're actually trying to fund commercial time. That's the hard time because commercial time is so expensive just to get that 130-second ad, whether it's positive or negative.
There are some
negative
crazy ads out there right now that I cannot even believe that some of these networks are airing. This is bananas. So
should be interesting. I'll actually be in New York on election day, so regardless of the outcome, that should be interesting to see how that town
What do you
reacts.
think New York's going to be like on election
I'm not
day?
sure. We'll have to see what the result is, because it's either going to be. There's going to be a lot of chaos regardless, I imagine.
Well,
so
I'm going to be in Florida on election day.
Interesting.
So that's going to be very interesting. That's a whole stronghold for one of our parties. And so that should be very interesting from my point of view.
I'm going to be drinking wine with my family because it's my brother's
And
birthday.
that's cute. That is the ultimate
I will
best
not
way
even be thinking
to
about the
de-stress.
election. Someone will be like, hey, guess who our president is? And I'm like, let me just see if I can guess right.
Yep.
No, I'm not going to think about the election too because I've already voted and I think we've already made the right decision.
Yep.
I think we have.
Yeah.